Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Houston Astros beat the Toronto Blue Jays 3-1 and get their first sweep of the 2025 season. Great win for the Astros to improve to 9-6 at home as well, 13-11 on the season, and not only that, but for the first time this season, above 2 games over 500. And in this homestand, 5-1. The Blue Jays in this series only scored 2 runs. It was funny. I was watching the Rockets game. The Rockets won in the playoffs today, game 2. I was watching the Rockets game with my grandfather. My grandfather really watched the Astros before every day last couple years, but he doesn't watch them anymore because he can't. My grandparents switched to YouTube TV, and you know what that means. That means you can't watch the Astros, and he only watches them if they're on national television. So we watch the games on Saturday and Sunday because the Astros. I watch every game because we have cable, but he watched the Saturday and Sunday games and didn't really keep in touch with the series. And we were watching the Rockets game today, and I asked him, how many runs do you think the Astros gave up in the series? And just guessing, even though he knew the Astros got the sweep, said I think he said 9 or 10. And I said, no, 2. And he was in shock. But that's been the story for this Astros team this year, is great pitching. And in this series to play the Blue Jays and the Padres, in this homestand to play the Blue Jays and Padres, 2 teams who have been good offensively, and not be really good pitching wise, to not give up a lot of runs. Only 2 runs in this series. The Padres series, they only gave up, I want to say it was only 9 runs in that series. So in a 6-game homestand, they only gave up about 10-11 runs. So really good pitching series for the Astros. And offensively, in this homestand, the Astros averaged almost 10 hits per game. In the homestand, there is only 2 of the 6 games that the Astros played that they were not in double digits of hits, and tonight was another night for them. Funny enough, this was the second lowest runs scored in the Astros. This is really funny. This game tonight was the second least amount of runs the Astros have scored in this homestand. The only game that the Astros didn't score as much run, the only game where the Astros did not score, the only game in this homestand where the Astros scored less runs than they did today was the loss they received to the Padres when they only scored 2 runs. And funny enough, even though this is one of the worst run games the Astros had in their 6-game homestand, this was still the most hits they had in all of the 6 games. 13 hits tonight. They did have 12 on Friday when they beat the Padres and scored 6 runs, but 13 hits today on 3 runs. You know what that means? That means the Astros were terrible with runners in scoring position, 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. But anyways, it was still a great win for the Astros. And after these last couple series at home, with the last week the Astros beating the Angels and taking a series there 2-1, and the 5-1 home, this 5-1 homestand, the Astros, since starting off 2-4 at home, we saw the Astros be terrible offensively against the Mets, but win the series because of pitching. And then it was a disaster against the Giants, getting swept. And there was all this talk about the Astros not being able to play at home. And ever since then, you've seen the Astros dominate both sides of both sides of the ball, pitching and hitting at home. Astros, since the 2-4 start and the 2-4 start at home, are 7-2 at home, and those are against good teams. Angels right now, they've taken a step back, but the Angels going into that series were one of the best offensive teams in baseball. The Padres going into the series against the Astros were the best team in baseball, or the best team in the best team in baseball. The Blue Jays, weren't doing, before this series, they were 12-10, weren't doing that bad, actually hitting the ball pretty decently. So the Astros have played solid teams in this 3 series to have a 7-2 record against, and I'm really proud that they're that they've gone from where they were to start the season to now being 13-11, 9-6 at home when they started off 2-4 at home. Another thing I will say, you think 13-11 is a slow start? Here's an interesting fact. Last year, it took the Astros 37 games to win 13 games. You heard that correctly. The Astros won their last year was their 37th game in New York against the Yankees where they won their 13th game. I remember John Singleton hit a home run. I want to say Jordan went deep for the Astros in that game. And the Astros had a solid offensive performance. I remember they got crushed by the Yankees in the 2 games before that, and then they won the final game of that series and improved to 13-24. So it has taken the Astros this season 24 games to get to 13 wins. Last year it took 37. Just a lot. It shows this has been a slow start at times for this year's Astros, but not as slow as last year. I think that's something you can look at and say, okay, you think this Astros team has it bad this year. Always remind yourself where the Astros were last year and still ended up winning 89 games. So, yeah. It was 88, I believe. They finished 88-73 because the rain delay, the last game of the season got canceled. But let's go over some stats of this game. 3-1 final score, 13 hits for the Astros, 5 for the Blue Jays. That's the most hits they've had in this series. They only had 4 hits in the first 2 games. They had more hits tonight than they did in the first 2 games. 0 errors in the ball game. Win goes to Ryan Gusto. He's 3-1 now on the season. He matches the win totals of this team with Hunter Brown and Ronel Blanco. Also, he becomes the third starter for the Astros this year to have multiple wins. Funny enough, the Astros have had 6 pitchers start multiple games this year, and they've only got one guy. They've only got one guy that has. And they only have three of those 6 guys have multiple wins. The 3 others don't. Framber Valdez, Hayden Wisniewski, Spencer Arrighetti, who's only started 2 games this year and is injured. They do not have multiple wins this year. But Hunter Brown, Ryan Gusto, and Ronel Blanco all have multiple wins this year, and you've seen those guys go out there and reach multiple wins. So only half the rotation this year for the Astros have reached multiple wins. But Francis gets the loss. He's 2-3 on the year now, 4 2/3 today for him. 8 hits given up, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Yeah, he doesn't give up a lot of walks. I was hoping the Astros, that was the real only negative thing of this homestand for the Astros. Only 12 walks, only averaging 2 walks per game. And going into this homestand, the Astros were averaging like 3.6 walks per game. So walks were low for the Astros in this series, in these 2 series against the Blue Jays and the Padres. At the same time, they faced some really good pitching in this series. If you look at it, in the Padres series, they faced Michael King and Dylan Cease. This series, they faced Gossman, Bassett, and then Francis today, who's pitched really well this year. So it makes sense. Save goes to Josh Hader. He came close to giving up his first earned run since the first game of the season. He gave up a hit and a walk. It got close. He had a runner on third and second with, I want to say it was 1 out left. And it got close to the point where the Astros could have, a home run could have given the Blue Jays a lead. A hit could have given the Blue Jays a tie game, but Hader got out of it, got his 7th save of the year, did give it some damage with the hit and walk, but ultimately things were okay. 2 strikeouts for Hader. Home run for Skywalker, Christian Walker, home run to left center, 356 feet, 1-0, his second home run of the homestand. Zach DeZenzo, second inning, RBI single to right. Diaz scored 2-0. The Astros got themselves a problem with Zach DeZenzo. I would say it's a good problem to have. Zach DeZenzo has hit the ball amazing. 3 hits today for Zach DeZenzo. 2 hits, 2 for 3 on Monday. Yesterday didn't play. You got Cam Smith, who's been hitting the ball really well too. There's really you can't really, you got to decide what you're going to do now because Zach DeZenzo's hitting the ball. He deserves playing time. Cam Smith has been hitting the ball great before this too. He deserves playing time. There's not a lot of places you can put Zach DeZenzo. What you could do is you could put him in left, and But then it creates this thing like maybe Altuve has to play. This is what you could do. DeCenzo could be put in left. Altuve can play second if you don't want to play Rogers or Dubon, and Jordan could be the DH. That could be a strategy you can do to get DeCenzo more playing time. But it's gonna be with both these guys heating up offensively. It gives the Astros a good problem on who's gonna play more. DeCenzo's been hot though. He is 5 for 7 in his last 2 games. So you love to see it for Zach. 2-0 after that, and then Jordan Alvarez almost hit a grand slam for the Astros in the second inning, and hit sac fly. DeCenzo scored 3-0. George Springer hit an RBI double to score Guerrero in these fourth 3-1. And all the Astros runs came in one inning. That second inning, a lot of hits after that, but no runs that the Astros were able to bring in off of those hits. Altuve went 1 for 5. He started off the game just like he did yesterday with a leadoff single, but then just like he did yesterday, nothing after that for Altuve, going 1 for 5. Jordan Alvarez 1 for 2 today, single for him, just like he started off yesterday. He started off his day yesterday with a single and scored a run in the first inning, and he did nothing after that. But today that was a little bit different for Jordan because he had a sac fly for an RBI in the second inning. In the fifth inning, he had a walk. Seventh inning, flight out to right. He almost had a grand slam in this game, though. Isank, just like yesterday, first 3 at-bats were really bad, then hits a home run. His final at-bat today, ground into double play, ground out to first, ground into fielder's choice, and then finishes the day in the seventh inning with a single to left. Jeremy Pena continues his hitting streak. I want to say it's 14 games now for JP, career high. Struck out, flight out, line out. Looked like it was over, but seventh inning, Astros get back-to-back hits in the seventh inning with a single to right. Christian Walker, 2 for 4 today. He's batting over 200 for the first time this year, I believe, or not for the first time in a while. I think it's for the first time. It's for the first time since the first game of the season. Christian Walker is batting over 200. He had a home run to left and single to left. That single to left is what got him over to 200. And he had his last 2 at-bats were ground out to shortstop and struck out looking in his last 2 at-bats. So after that single to left, it might have been as high as the two teens or maybe even 220, something like that. But then his batting average went a little bit down after he grounded out and struck out. So it's good to see Christian Walker on fire like he has been in this series. And the way he finished, with a home run on Saturday, great homestand for Christian Walker. Yainer Diaz had a great game today, triple to right, rare triple for the Astros this year. I want to say that's the Astros' second triple of the year. Cam Smith had one in Seattle. Single to center for Yainer, and that was it for his day. But 2-hit day for Yainer Diaz. You love to see it. A double yesterday, triple today. It's great to see him get some power back. Zach DeCenzo went 3 for 4 today, 3 singles, 1 was an RBI. And that is his second RBI this series. You love to see it for DeCenzo. And then Dubon went 1 for 4 today. He had a single to center in the second, DeCenzo to second. Chas McCormick played today, got a hit. He reached on a bunt single to pitcher in the second inning and then popped out to shortstop. They replaced Chas in the 6th inning with Caratini being a pinch hitter, struck out swinging. Then they brought in Jake Myers for Caratini to play defensive center field. He got an at-bat in the 8th inning, struck out looking. Jake's been striking out a lot recently. Pitching outside of Gusto, Brian King. How about this? Brian King in his last 5 outs. Brian King has got his last 5 outs in 9 pitches. He came on yesterday for the Astros, got the last out of the 7th inning, and got it done in 1 pitch. Today, he pitches the last out of the 6th inning and the 7th inning, gets it done in 8 pitches. Brian King's been unbelievable this year, only 2 earned runs given up, and he's pitched pretty much the most out of the bullpen for the Astros this year. Maybe the only guy that's pitched more than Brian King this year is Josh Hader. Brian Abreu pitched the 8th inning, gave 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Hader pitched the 9th, got the save. And the good thing about having Hader and Abreu out there back-to-back games, you're worried about them not being available in the next series. The Astros have tomorrow off, so that makes it more flexible for guys like King, Abreu, and Hader pitching back-to-back games for the Astros today. And you love to see it, and that helps the Astros get their first sweep of the season and go to 13-11. And also, with the Rangers losing, the Astros and the Mariners are both a game back from leading this division. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and peace out. Go Astros.